Hello folks, have I got a video for you. You see, God's Watching YouTube, some of you may have heard of him, is someone who, well, he's an attention whore basically. And I haven't had correspondence with him since his response to me. I've been meaning to make it, but I've been fairly apathetic, you know. Once I come out of hospital, just can't be arsed making videos. Good news on the cancer update, I'm beating the shit out of it. So anyway, God's Watching YouTube made a video last night, and he took it off pretty much instantaneously. However, I've got a copy of it, thanks to Atheist Aussie, or the Way of the Past as he's known now. I'll link him below. Well, it should already be subbed to him. Without much further ado, let's get on with my response.
It's a fucking intro. It's a fucking intro. I'm doing this temporarily until I get to new intro scene. It's a fucking intro. It's a fucking intro. It's a fucking intro.
Now on with the main show.
Well. How are my wonderful Christians? As we approach the season, the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. Now, this video
Is going to be hilarious.
I'm going to come a little old school. I'm going to come to you, atheists, a little bit old school today, because I'm addressing this to a handful of fools. Aldus Valor.
You mean Aldus Valor. There's no N in their name. And you don't actually address them at all in this video, apart from this little section here.
Donkey tail or donkey fail, monkey fail, whatever you call yourself. GluteusIlluminatus.
Oh look, he's trying to be witty.
Logicked, a lying, deceiving, conniving fool. And Losoyo, more like lost yo-yo. Alright.
So folks, in case you didn't get that, he's addressing Aldus Valor, myself, GluteusIlluminatus, Logicked, and Losoyo. At least one of us can get the names right, eh?
You guys think you're tough guys. Tough guys, right?
Well, personally I've never ascribed myself to be a tough guy. As with others, I've never heard them say it, but meh.
Let me just explain something to you. Because maybe this will get through your thick skulls. Where I came from, in my life, you guys would be victims. Nothing more. You act like you're all a bunch of tough guys, but not one of you is not one amongst you is a real tough guy. There isn't a person in my life that knows me that would ever say I wasn't a tough guy. I'm a tough guy today.
Tell me, pal, what is a real tough guy in your eyes? I've never claimed to be a tough guy. That's an aspersion you're casting on me yourself, pal. But going by the rest of your video, which I've already seen, I know what you think a tough guy is. You think a tough guy is someone who offers violence. That's not a tough guy. That's just a moron with fists.
You, not all of you, all four of you at once couldn't beat me in my backyard on your birthday. All four of you at once.
Sorry pal, but I only beat myself. I love the female form. I don't tend to beat other men, especially in groups. It's nice of you to offer though. But you're going to have to keep your homoerotic fantasies to yourself, or at least accept that I don't want to take a part in it.
You get on the internet, you disrespect Christians, you're rude to Christians, you're arrogant, you're ignorant, and you're stupid. I said it, you're stupid.
I'm rude, arrogant, and highly sarcastic to more than just Christians. As are the other guys. Well, Losoyo's not often that rude, just occasionally when he hears something stupid, which means he'll be rude to you a lot. However, you accuse us of being stupid. Need I remind you of this?
Moon and sun revolving around the earth.
I'll take account with the Father for what I say in this video. I will stand account in judgment, and I'm good to stand in front of my Father. Believe me, He knows exactly what I'm doing in this video. You're rude. You hear me? Every one of you.
I make no bones about it. I can be rude. I don't give a shit. The difference being that you are rude as well, pal. Do you not think it's a wee bit rude to claim things about people that you know about people, despite not talking to them? To cast aspersions on people? That's a bit rude. Don't you think?
You're not men.
My penis, ballsack and testosterone levels would say otherwise.
This lost yo-yo guy boozed it up with his kid in the house, drinking, carrying on like he's some kind of somebody. And the truth of the matter is, he wouldn't know what a somebody was if they whacked him in the back of his head, which he needs. I'd love to do it.
What is it with you and violence? Is your medulla oblongata too big? Or too small, I should say. No, it'll be enlarged. It'll be enlarged for medulla oblongata. Anyway, what's the matter if Losoyo has a drink or two when his kid's in the house? He's married, he has a wife who can look after the kid while he's having a wee drink. Let him drink. It's up to himself what he does. That doesn't make him any less of a man. Ah dear. So what? He's not offering the kid drinks. It's not like the kid is going to become an alcoholic because his dad is her dad is drinking a couple of times. Losoyo doesn't drink a lot. It's only recently he started doing these drinking videos of drinking whenever someone says something stupid. To mark a point.
I would love for you to show up to my front door, because I would beat you like a rented mule, son. I'd pick up the Bible and beat you with it, boy.
Because, kids, as we all know, violence solves everything.
Call yourself a man? You've never been a man. You wouldn't know where to begin at being a man. Do you know what the...
Once again, penis, ballsack, testosterone levels. All signs and indications of being a man. Another one would be chromosomal evidence. XY, baby. Simple as. Unless you mean philosophically as a man, in which case your definition of what man is pathetic. Very pathetic. So to you, a man is someone who goes around smacking people who disagree with him. No, that's just moronic.
What the two P's of fatherhood are? You have no clue. You have no clue. I'm going to tell you what the two P's of fatherhood are. Provision and protection. To provide and protect. You can't provide for your family. I see the curtains in your little video room. You're in a rooming house, boy.
As far as I know, Losoyo owns his own house, or he's close to owning his own house. He has 2 cars, one which he owns and one which he's very close to owning. And he has a decent job. You have no evidence beyond some curtains. Yeah, that says a lot. If someone has curtains, they must not be able to provide or protect for their kids, because curtains... You've made this sort of assumption before in your response to me, previous, where you assumed that the pictures on my walls were my kids, and I was a nice guy because of these pictures. Wrong on 2 counts. First, that's my nephew and my sister, from when she was a kid, obviously, and I'm not a nice guy. You make a lot of assumptions, most of them wrong.
Talking about you got the most beautiful woman in the world. and you got, you know, this kid, and you own 2 cars, and you own this house, you're a deceiver, boy. Then you want to get in Jesus freak's face about owing money on his car, owing some, like you know him or something, like you're all up in his business, you're his accountant. You're going to come up on YouTube and talk about how, like, you know all about this man, and you're going to go up on YouTube and expose him for being in debt. You can't help but be in debt in this world, boy.
Yes you can. I'm not in debt. I mean, I've been in debt, but I'm not in debt. I could have helped it quite easily. The way you avoid being in debt is not to owe anything to someone. Now, and keeping up payments on bills and such. The thing is, you've missed the point. Losoyo's point was that Jesus or God, one of the two, said not to be a debtee, not to be in debt, to not use it. And Jesus Freak was going on and on about gays and how the Bible was against gays, while admitting that he was in debt and using debt. Cognitive dissonance, it's something that you show a hell of a lot of. But the point was that if you're going to say that to be a true Christian you have to hate gays or some shit like Jesus Freak was saying, then you can't, or like if you're going to follow the book literally, then you've got to follow all parts of it literally, including the debt side of things, which is the point that Losoyo was trying to make. I know, it's difficult when an atheist understands what a Christian's point is towards another Christian better than a Christian like yourself does. It must sting.
You all right? I would love to run into you accidentally somewhere, son. I would take you off your feet with one slap. You're not a tough guy, you're a punk. Where I come from, you wouldn't last 8 seconds, boy, you'd be pregnant by lunch.
You come from the alternate universe, like in Red Dwarf, where Lister gets pregnant? Is that what it is? Do you know? That's interesting. So, men can get pregnant in your universe? News to me. Very interesting.
With your stupid self. The same goes to this Logicked.
Ah, Logicked, my protege. Let's hear what you have to say about him.
Tries to befriend people and act like he's all buddy-buddy and then turns on him. The guy's NG. Where I come from, that's called NG, no good.
You know, you keep on going on about where you come from, like it's a hard place. Considering what you claim later on, I'd like to know where you come from. But mainly let me carry on with this one. I've seen the correspondence between you two, because Logic showed me it. He never once befriended you. He was polite to you, but that does not mean that he's a friend of you. If you can't understand a simple thing like this, it's no wonder you offer violence instead of understanding. Prick.
You're a rat. NG, you're no good. Jesus don't like rats. Jesus don't like NG people. Jesus likes solid people. You're about as solid as a soup sandwich, son. You're not a man. Up on YouTube disrespecting people, befriending people, then turning your back on them and stabbing them when they're not looking. You think you're a man? You're not a man.
He never once befriended you. If you're so lonely that you look to people being polite on YouTube as friendship, then you really need to get out more. Meet people in real life. You really do.
Same thing with this GluteusIlluminatus or whatever he calls himself. He's up there doing videos on me and trying to be a funny guy. And the reality is, he got no life. He's another one. Wants to come up on YouTube and act like he's all that, and somebody's going to have to stand up and respect him because he's so cool and he got something, he knows somebody. You don't know anybody, boy.
Glutes, like myself, has not made a video about you in a while. Why you're bringing us up, we don't know. But, so what if Glutes doesn't go out much? I don't, because my cancer, and quite simply, my circle of friends has gotten smaller and smaller over the years. It happens. As people get lives themselves and have kids and such like. So what Does the fact that he's made a video about you mean that, and he knows people on YouTube, mean that he hasn't got a life? That's bullshit. I know people on YouTube, I know people on Facebook, I know people in real life. Just because I've made a video about you that's sarcastic doesn't mean that anything at all, actually, beyond the fact that I've taken the piss out of you. If you can't handle criticism, no wonder you're such a violent prick.
And how about monkey tail or monkey fail, whatever you call yourself?
Me?
Another lost cause out of Scotland, and I'm Scottish.
Yes, indeed. That's a fine Scottish brogue you've got on there. Which part of Scotland do you come from? I mean, I can't quite get the accent. The dialect either of your speech, or any part of Scots in your speaking. You know, the language of Scotland that's generally used a lot. You know, you've never shown any hint of Scottishness in your videos. But yeah, you're Scottish, aye, sure enough. For a boots, you can. Dinna fash yourself now, lad, but for a boots you came from, you can. What, the answer? I know you live in Canada. So which part of Canada is Scotland part? Which part of Scotland is Canada in, exactly? And if it's such a tough place, do tell me whereabouts. I know you can't, but come on. Tell me whereabouts in Scotland are you from? To have such a broad Scottish accent like you do. Ah, dearie me. Anyway, shall we carry on, Mr. Scotsman? What is it with these American guys coming across and saying they're Scottish? I mean, first Morgan Kimball and now you. I must attract them.
Embarrassed to call you a Scotsman.
And if you were Scottish, I'd be embarrassed to call you a Scot as well.
You're gonna try to belittle me.
I don't try, I do belittle you.
You would never talk to me like that if you ever met me, what? Not on your best day.
And that just shows how little you know of me. My first video to you, and the only video I've ever made to you, the only correspondence I've ever had with you, was me dismissing your claims, your arrogant and rude claims about what atheists think. If you had done that to me in the street, I would have done exactly the same. I'd have ripped you apart into shreds using my wit and my knowledge. I have to have friends hold me back when I'm walking down the high street and there's some arsehole with a sandwich board preaching the word, fundamentally and evangelically. Because I will rip them to shreds. They have to hold me back and steer me away. I'm a prick, I admit it. But never mind, eh? Violence is always the answer for you.
I would pick you up by your face and slam you against a wall, son.
Unless you are over 6'3", and I very much doubt you are, you're going to have trouble with that. A lot of trouble.
You guys are jokes. That's why you can't be Christians, because you're punks.
Last I checked, Losoyo was a Christian, and is a Christian. You stating otherwise doesn't make it any different, because that would be a no true Christian, no true Scotsman fallacy. However, the reason that Losoyo, myself, and Glutes can't be atheists, and I'm going to include Aldus Valor because you said his name at the start. Well, obviously you can't fucking count. Is because we're atheists. We don't believe in your God and your Christ. That's why. It's not because we're punks. Actually, I'm a metalhead myself, as is Logicked. That's what. It's nothing to do with whether or not I ascribe to punk as a way of life or not. Or you mean as in gang member or arsehole, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. This is almost as good as the time that you said I'd never admit that I don't believe in a God because I'm an atheist. That was a good one.
God doesn't recruit punks. Recruits men.
We're men in tights. We roam around the forest looking for lights. We're men in
Recruits women with backbones.
If women didn't have a spinal column, they'd probably die, as would anyone. They'd live for a wee while, but probably die eventually. They wouldn't be able to stand up and do anything at all, really. It's kind of essential, the whole spinal cord. So that would be every woman in the world then ascribes to your God, would they? I don't think so.
You gotta have courage to be having faith. You can't have faith without courage. You can't have courage without faith, son.
Okay folks, this may be the only time you see me play this card. I'm going to play the Cancer card. That's right. I of course have cancer, as many of you know, and my newer subs might not know this, and I'm facing it down. I don't need faith to face this down. I apparently am quite courageous according to my friends because I'm getting on with my life like normal. I don't give a shit. As far as I'm concerned, I'll either beat it or I won't. Meh, who cares? It's only cancer. So I'm getting on with my life. I'm not moping around, weeping and crying, or anything like that. You know, supposedly facing life with courage. I don't need faith for that. I don't need faith for a lot of things. Yeah, so courage is not a factor for faith. You can have faith without courage. There's plenty of spineless people that have faith. Spineless is in the metaphor. That have faith without being courageous. Just like there's plenty of people without faith that are courageous. Moi included. Yeah, okay, cancer card played. Let's go over it. Next thing.